We are now recording. Okay. Bruce Costa is the facilitator for Granite Forest Sangha in Upper Bucks County, Pennsylvania, in the United States. He received the transmission of the Five Mindfulness Trainings in 2007 in Easton, Massachusetts, where he was honored to be given his dharma name, Tâm Chân Bi, or Heart of True Compassion, by Thầy Thích Nhất Hạnh. You can learn more about Bruce's work on mindfulness and his Sangha at graniteforestdojo.org/Sangha. graniteforestdojo.org/Sangha. And you can find out more about Bruce himself at brucecosta.com. And without further ado, I'll mute myself and turn it over to Bruce.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to my morning session at a god-awful hour on a Saturday morning. I'm really delighted to be here with you. One of the facilitators here, Maurice Gaston, or Mo, as you may know him, is a dear friend and a lifelong friend. So it's really a privilege. I want to start by asking if you could, and I realize a lot of people have their screens off. That's more than reasonable. And if you're uncomfortable being recorded, that's probably the way to go. So we're really just here to sit and begin our day today. It's unusual to record it, but I'm trying to honor what my friends are doing. I will apologize for all mistakes I make, both in my speech and with technology in advance. And I have a puppy in the room. So to the extent that she screws us up, I will further apologize. Her name is Suki, for your edification. And if somebody could please, or if everybody could please let me know who has had, like, throw up the digital hand or just wave or do whatever it is that makes you comfortable. Who has had experience in meditation in the past? And specifically, awesome. Oh, awesome. So specifically Vipassana or mindfulness meditation, which may be a little bit different than Zazen or, TM or any of the flavors that are ways to arrive on a journey for yourself. Okay, so just by way of introduction, what I'm doing here is I have had the extraordinary joy of practicing with one of the most notable people in this tradition in the world. He was a friend and colleague of Martin Luther King Jr. He was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Dr. King. He woke up basically to find himself in the middle of the Vietnam War, and he and his fellow monastics were under great threat by both sides as he and many others refused to join either the North or the South. And so as a result, he took the really theretofore unconsidered task of starting a project which came to be known as active Buddhism or engaged Buddhism, where to sit in a temple and consider the universe, is that really the best we can do with what time we have? And so Thai, as we call, Thai means teacher in Vietnamese, and he is, as I was saying to Liam earlier, he's like, when you say the word Thai without explaining which Thai you're talking about Thich Nhat Hanh. So Thai and his monastics have been in most major conflicts. They have sat at the bedside of many suffering people. They are, anytime you spend reading about what they've been through will kind of make you consider how you're spending your own time. And it certainly had that effect on me. So what it is we're trying to do here is we're trying to, we can say, as you may have heard before, why do you meditate sitting up? Why do you sit on the floor? Why do you, sometimes get yourself into a position? You can do this in yoga, right? Which is the practice of finding increasingly difficult positions in which to find your center. Well, why are we doing that? Why don't we lay down? Why don't we curl up in bed in the fetal position? Because there's a risk of falling asleep. It's just a practical thing. And what we're trying to do is the contrary. We're trying to wake up. We're trying to discover the truth that it's so easy to go through life thinking that you're identical to your thoughts, that you're a victim of your thoughts, and worse, you're a victim of the circumstances surrounding you. Whereas the truth is that thoughts arrive in your mind unheralded in exactly the same way that sounds arrive on your ears or sights arrive in your eyes. And we can contemplate those things. We can witness them coming in, and we can decide how to react, whether to react, and how we therefore want to walk through this world, embracing our brothers and sisters, or thinking that we know something about them that we're normally pretty unqualified to know. So I wanted to invite you to start this day just by doing nothing. Meditation is this beautiful gift, right? Where we get to do nothing for once in our lives. For God's sake, just stop deciding things, just stop having opinions, just stop trying to change stuff, just give yourself a break, stop being so excoriating of your own behaviors. None of it's the truth, none of it's correct. So that's what we're here to do today. So I want to invite you to find a really, really comfortable spot. I'm sitting I have a small room in my home that's just for this purpose. It's called my breathing room. And I'm sitting on a cushion that itself is on a mat. And I'm completely relaxed. So if you're sitting in a chair, that's entirely appropriate to this practice. Thich Nhat Hanh says there's only one appropriate position for meditation, and that's the chrysanthemum position, which means anything goes. So I would encourage you, though, if you're in a chair, to place both feet flat on the floor and maybe come just a little bit away from the back of the chair and rotate your pelvis forward just a touch, So when I'm sitting on the floor here, I tend to sit on the front of my cushion. And what that'll do is it'll allow the beautiful curve of my spine to come up like a plant, like a plant from the planter of my pelvis, right? And it'll just come straight up. And then if you could allow your head, your C1 vertebra lands right here at your jaw connection, right? Those 2 points that you've seen sticking out from the side. And you can let your head balance perfectly on that so that you'll put zero stress, zero effort into sitting up, being wide awake. You can feel your shoulders drape beautifully, your trapezius and your deltoid drape beautifully over your rib cage, so that you can just be here. And now I know that we do have a couple of people who've never meditated before. So I'm going to guide you through about 2 minutes. Okay. We'll start what seems like small, but 2 minutes is a pretty heavy lift. So I want to encourage you to close your eyes and relax. Closing your eyes lets us shut off our primary sensory input for most of us. And then feel where the floor is pushing up on your body. Notice 100% of that. And realize what I'll presume is that the building that you're in has been designed by competent architects, assembled by skilled craftspeople. It's sturdy and safe. And now do a brief body scan. Start where the floor touches you. Feel your lower legs, your thighs. Feel the clothing drape on them, the fabric on your torso and on your back. Relax any tension that you find as you pass through your body. Let's pay attention to your neck, through which all your nerves and blood and breath go. Really relax every fiber there. And again, no muscle use there. Now let's arrive at your ears, which bring you so much joy. Your scalp. You might feel slight tingling. Your forehead. Make sure that that's beautifully relaxed. It has not a single worry. Now let's come to your face. You've been blessed with this face. It is the thing that makes your relatives happy when they see it. Your friends. It brings smiles to many people. You should be happy that you have your face. And now to your eyes. They bring you so much, don't they? Make sure they are utterly relaxed. Give them a full break from the hard work they always do for you. And at last, come to your breath. Wherever it arrives, you can feel the swell of your chest. You can feel it on the tip of your nose or passing through your nasal passages. It's always there for you when you're not paying attention to it, even when you're unconscious. Your breath keeps you healthy. And open your eyes. Morning. I hope you enjoyed that. The good news is that meditation capacity follows you in a carry-all portable container called you. And you can do that anywhere, anytime. That, we just need zero equipment with which to conduct this. You can do it between your car and, well, thank you, Luke. We can do it between the car and the office. You can do it riding up in the elevator. Imagine the next time you're in an elevator going to a meeting. Well, none of us are doing that right now, but you're in an elevator going to a meeting, right? What do you do? And the meeting's on like the 9th floor, so you have like 30 seconds, right? What are we all doing? What are we doing? We're checking our phone. What a galactic mistake. What we've all had that email that derailed our week. Why ever would you flirt with that before you have to have some cognitive powers with colleagues in a moment, right? How much better to breathe? How much better to arrive at your good health during that beautiful elevator? You would wish it was longer rather than shorter. So we are about halfway through our time together, and I wanted to offer you just a couple of thoughts. Why do we come? The first one is, why are we coming to our breath? Like, what's breath have to do with it, really? I mean, you could argue it's the most, it's literally the most boring thing you can imagine to focus on, right? Well, the truth is that it doesn't have, first of all, it doesn't have to be your breath. I mean, the thing we're trying to do in meditation is we're trying to arrive in reality. That's what the Buddha was doing. He was just trying to deal with what's there, So, he came to appreciate the fact that there's no future and there's no past. They literally don't exist. You can't, everything that you regret is behind you. There's nothing that you have the power to do about it. Nothing. And every ounce of energy we've ever spent, regretting, replaying the conversation with our mother in the shower. We're in the shower and you're just going through it again and again and again. Every ounce of that has been just not helpful and probably quite damaging to you. Everything we worry about, everything, all of it is in the future. And we literally can't do anything about it. All we have is the present. All we have is the here and the now. And so what do we hear? How are we best served? Well, our elders would have us believe that trying to find ways into the here and now, which is contrary to our evolution and quite difficult to get to, they would have us believe that we need a little help, and we're wise to have that help. And that's what our breath does. We are physically unable to breathe anywhere other than the here and the now. So that's why we follow it. You can make anything the subject of your meditation, Really, it's just that the breath is a convenient commonality. That would be Suki's opinion on the topic. Apologies yet again. All right, look, you're gonna have to behave because I'm doing a thing. So she's going in her crate. So the other thing I wanted to offer you for the rest of our time is this idea that, you know, there are four basic truths that the Buddha was able to understand and shared with all of us in his future. They are that there is such a thing as pain or suffering, and that there is a path to that suffering. And there is the possibility of relief from that suffering, and that there is a path to that relief. And so a lay monastic once said to me, the sooner we start seeing each other as vessels of suffering, the sooner we can look upon one another and know there are things that make that person worthy of a hug, no matter who it is, right? You can take the worst, most unimaginably horrible person that you would never want to have access to your grandmother, you know, the worst villain you could imagine, you know, you could imagine that all you have to do is rewind them. There was a time when they were a 5-year-old little boy with big brown eyes, you know, and you would look into the eyes of that little boy and know, oh no, this is the unluckiest person in the world. I mean, this is a person who's going to go through a horrible life that no one would envy. And so it's possible, even for the worst among us, to be worthy of compassion. And then the other thing, if you're going to consider that, you must also consider the truth that there's much joy to consider. There's much pleasure. There's much happiness in the world. Now, the Buddha would talk about, well, yeah, but we can't cling to these things. It's unwise to push away from the dissatisfactoriness of existence and to reach toward the satisfactoriness of existence, right? The pleasures. You want to breathe, allow them to arrive, and be able to deal with them appropriately. Sometimes pleasures are inappropriate, right? And we should be called upon to have the wisdom to understand when that's the truth. So today I want to invite you to contemplate as we do our next meditation. We're going to sit together one more time, and you might right now stretch, you know, stick your legs out, reach your toes back, spread out as much as you can, you know, again, know you have this body and be grateful for this body, whatever condition it's in. Sister Chan Kong, who's one of Thai's primary people in the world, Sister Chan Kong says, everybody has a little disease. Everybody. She's like 88. She can get away with saying stuff like that. So whatever bothers you, we're gonna talk about it. Okay. Welcome, Jessica. So please, once again, I want you to be completely relaxed. I want you to be the most comfortable you've ever been in your entire life. Okay. whatever that means. And so again, since we're trying to wake up here, I might encourage you to put both feet on the ground, or, if you're sitting, to really understand what the base of your contact is with the earth. And then allow your pelvis to rock forward just a little bit, come away from the back of the chair, allow that beautiful slope of your spine, a curve of your spine, and then position your head effortlessly on the top of it. Give yourself the great joy of feeling your good health, the good fortune of your good health. Not everyone can sit the way you're sitting right now. And now see right away if you can come to your breath all at once. Notice any sensations that are arriving. Everything exists in your consciousness. It's all we have really is consciousness and the contents of your consciousness. So everything that calls to your attention isn't necessarily worthy of it, especially my annoying puppy here. And now, notice if there's anything in your body that you would associate with pain or discomfort or dysfunction. Allow yourself to really perceive it. Give it no resistance whatsoever. Don't add that strain. Just experience it. You can use your breath to soften and accept that. You can release any judgment. Simply observe it. In fact, you can welcome it. It is a part of what creates you. There is no one that doesn't have something. Consider the ease with which you accept what other people are suffering with. It is such a beautiful habit you have. You should give yourself that love. And now see if you can really ease into the consciousness that you're blessed with. See if any sensations, sounds, smells, the soft light behind your eyelids, that endless field, see if you can notice how all of them are simply a cluster of proprioceptive reactions in what we call consciousness. How do you know that you have a hand? It must exist in consciousness. How do you know your foot is farther away than your hand? That's an illusion. And you can see it as such if you simply allow yourself to be awake to that cloud of perception. The deep intricacy of that cloud is always there. It's only a matter of where you direct your attention. And while we're here, ask yourself, who is observing this? See if you can see the observer. The idea of looking out at these perceptions also must be an element of your consciousness. Now let's broaden your awareness once more and see if you can find pleasure in your body, in your skin, your muscles, your memory, physical or emotional. Don't reach for it. That adds attachment. Simply experience it. You can envelop it in your breath. You can release your judgment of it and simply observe that you have this element that you consider positive. You can welcome it as a part of what creates you. Now, come back to that cloud of sensation, the awareness of your consciousness. Consider your pain as a mass of sensations arising and falling in your consciousness. Consider your pleasure as a mass of sensations arising and falling in your consciousness. You may notice that each moment of life contains elements that are painful and elements which are pleasurable. This is the way things are in this world for everyone. Notice the tendency to harden against pain and to grasp after pleasure. And in the noticing, relax back into the broad field of awareness. Breathe in. Breathe out. And gently open your eyes. I really hope you can take this with you and give yourself this peace. It's portable. You can even do it while you're driving. And, you know, all the after effects are there, right? Relaxed blood pressure and all that stuff. It's just waking up to the truth. That's all it is. So I am certainly available to you. Oh, show the dog. All right, Pam. You asked for it. There she is. That's Suki. Suki the Wonder Dog.
Yes.
Thank you for asking. That was awesome. You gave me much joy. Thanks, Sabina. All right. So, so my friends, I'm available to you. You can connect to me through brucecosta.com. That's probably the easiest way. And, you know, I'll check out the Discord on this topic if it's of any value. But thank you very much thank you very much, Jessica and Sabina. And listen, really reach out. It's just such a joy to get to connect with like-minded people like this, right? So thank you for waking up and coming and seeing me. Have a great time. Have a great time at BarCamp. I'll see you in other places.